Today, we are with Mr. Algappum, who is our Singapore partners, with whom we will be discussing more about incorporation process, their compliances, IPR, director services, registered address, and winding up, and many more. So don't leave in between. Till the end, be associated with us so that you don't leave anything. Hello, sir.
Hello.
How are you?
Good evening. Yeah, I'm fine. How
So,
are you?
I'm good, sir. I'm
Welcome
good.
to Singapore. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. So, can you please brief me about yourself, sir?
Now, I'm an Indian chartered accountant. I'm also a Singapore chartered accountant. So I have more than 37 years of experience. And then I've been in Singapore for 30 plus years now. I've been doing this company for the company incorporation and all that for about 10 plus years now. So I have very good experience in all that. And we provide services end to end for a company. Any client, suppose they're just coming from incorporating the company, for all our related services they want, either we do it or we have a partner firm who will do it. So it will be single point of contact, and I can walk them through everything.
Okay, that's great. That's great. So, if we start these conversations with regard to foreign clients who want to incorporate their company in Singapore, so can you please help us to know what is the process of incorporation of company in Singapore? Normal process. Then we'll come with the foreign company and local company.
Except Russia, a few North Korea and all that, they can open citizens from those countries can open a company in Singapore. They can do it, and thing is 100% shareholding is also allowed.
Okay.
And foreigners can be a director of the Singapore company. They only need they need to meet three local conditions, which is you need to have a local Singapore resident as a director.
Okay.
Number one. Number two, you need to have a company secretary.
Okay.
And third is a registered office address.
Okay.
Unlike India, where you can use a house address and all that, in Singapore it must be a commercial place.
Okay.
So we provide all the three services here.
Okay. Okay. So if we talk about this incorporation, so can you tell me the kind of entities which is suitable for foreigners, but like local company or subsidiaries company, and what are the difference in that?
You can have a subsidiary of an Indian company, or any global company can have a subsidiary in Singapore. Okay. That's treated as a Singapore entity, and it can be a tax resident of Singapore. Okay. So I would talk about a private limited company, which is, it can be a subsidiary or a holding company or whatever, it can be done. And if you're talking about different types of entities in Singapore, you can have a Singapore branch of an Indian company, but the branch is very restrictive. They don't get any tax advantage, and then they can only do for what is the parent company doing in Singapore. Okay. So generally, if you look at Singapore, 90% of the 95% only do companies. We don't do. We have also sole proprietorship and partnership in Singapore, but usually that is not the option used. And for foreigners specifically, we would only recommend a private limited company. Because to be a sole proprietor, you must be a Singapore citizen, or you must appoint a manager, which is something equivalent to the local director appointment. So, and then the manager will have unlimited liability. So normally we will not be able to provide a manager for a branch. So partner, sole proprietor and all that. So we would recommend a private limited company which comes with a limited liability.
Okay. So if I sum up all those statements, you advise for a foreigners to open a private limited company, maybe a subsidiaries company, but not a branch office, because that comes with a more tax and more liabilities.
Yes.
And since it is difficult for any foreign client to have a local resident as a nominee directors or a manager who will own all those responsibilities and liabilities.
If it's a sole proprietor or a partnership. For a branch, it will still be, you need to have an authorized representative, which is similar to the local director.
Okay. So can you suggest in that way that if any foreigners want to have a sole proprietor and they don't want to go into subsidiaries, reason being they are not clear now whether they are going to have the business in the near future in continuation.
No, I wouldn't recommend a sole proprietorship or a partnership for a foreigner. It's not possible.
That's not possible.
It's not possible.
Straight away, it's a subsidiaries company or private company.
Private limited company. If you're talking about a sole proprietor, the person must be in Singapore because all the taxes to them. Okay. It's not a company, so they have to pay like a personal income tax they have to pay. Okay. So it's not possible for a foreigner.
Okay. There is only one option. Two options, what the subsidiaries company or private limited
No,
company?
when you say subsidiary is the same as a private limited company, but owned by a corporate.
Owned by company. Okay.
So it's the same.
Same. Okay, got it. So what is the minimum number of directors and shareholders which is required?
Minimum number, there's no minimum number. You can have many directors, but one local resident director is mandatory. Okay. Other than that, the foreign directors can be 2, can be 3, can be 4, whatever they want.
And they can own 100% shareholding.
100% shareholding for a foreigner is allowed.
Okay. So can we arrange foreign directors for
yes,
for
we can. Okay. We can do. Okay. Foreign director is perfectly okay.
Okay.
And the local director is mandatory, which we provide.
Okay.
And this local director will not have anything to do with the management of the company. He will only provide services that are required by Companies Act. And as per the ACRA in Singapore is the Registrar of Companies in India.
What is the full form?
ACRA is Accounting and Corporate Regulatory Authority. Accounting and Corporate Regulatory Authority is ACRA, ACRA.
Okay.
So that is the regulator in Singapore. And whatever is required by them is what the local director will do.
Okay.
And he will be under our control. Our control means he's my appointed person. Mm-hmm. So he will act only on my instruction to him.
Okay.
So there is no, the company, the promoters, all that, they don't need to worry about it because this guy, I know them very well and then only I appoint them and they cannot do anything on their own.
Okay.
So
okay,
it's fully secured.
So it means once you incorporate any company through us, so obviously you need not to worry about any of the liabilities which will come to this manager. All we have to do is that you need to be sure that all the compliances are being taken care of by our team.
Yes, we'll take care of all the compliance.
Okay. So once company, can you tell me how long does it take to incorporate a company? What are the step-by-step
Singapore is one of the fastest to do a company incorporation. We can do it in half an hour, 1 hour, we can incorporate a company, provided we have all the documents in hand before.
That's really amazing. Half an hour, 1 hour?
Half an hour is
it practical?
It's practical. We can do it. Provided I have done all the KYC and all that before, everything is with me. And we get the name approval straight away. We can incorporate the company. I think half an hour is already very good.
Oh.
So it's very fast. And, Singapore is the second best company formation in the world after New Zealand. Okay. So it's very high in ranking. It's easy.
We can see this, that ease of doing business in Singapore
is very good.
And if we continue with that, your statement that within half an hour, 1 hour, you get the company incorporated. Apart from this, what are the other reasons that most of the investors and other clients wants to incorporate the company in Singapore? What are the reasons why they should incorporate?
Singapore is a pro-business environment. It has a pro-business environment, very friendly, business friendly. And then there's extensive trade links between multiple countries. Singapore has a lot of trade agreements, double taxation agreement. They have all those facilities with many countries.
Okay.
And then the tax system is very competitive in Singapore. The maximum tax rate for a company is 17%.
17%.
Corporate tax rate is 17%.
Okay.
And then for a new company, for the first 3 years, there are some benefits given to them. And the effective tax rate for a new company with 10% individual shareholding, not 100% corporate, 10% individual shareholding if it is there, the tax rate will be about 6 point something percent, 7% effective rate for the first 200,000 Singapore dollars profit.
It means you want to say that we'll come to that corporate tax structure also. There we will elaborate.
Okay, so there's tax benefits are there. And then there is a very good infrastructure in Singapore. Everything is, whatever you want to. Not many things you need. For a lot of businesses, you don't need licenses in Singapore.
Okay.
Unless like you're selling medicine or you're having a hotel or restaurant, those kind of things, liquor. There are very specific things that need licenses in Singapore.
They're labor intensive.
Labor intensive. Labor is very short in Singapore. So try not to have labor intensive business. It's very expensive. Singapore salaries are very high. And there are quota system for a company. How many foreigners can be employed for locals in the companies? It depends on industry.
We'll come to that. Okay. Yeah. So what are the other advantages? Like tax structure, you said.
Tax structure is
environment there. Is good.
And then there is a very good relationship in Singapore. Safety, security is there. And then I can go on.
Okay.
A lot of things that's very good in Singapore.
This is the reason that across the globe you will find many of the investors, many of the big MNCs have their headquarters in
it's a financial center. So financial rules, regulations, and all that. There, Singapore is also an arbitration center.
Okay.
I was told,
that's great.
I was told it is recognized in 52 countries.
Oh,
any ruling by the Singapore arbitration, it can be effective in 52 countries. 52 countries will follow that.
Oh.
So it's very good, business-wise, and then the rules and regulations are strictly followed.
Okay. For your more information, if you want any specific queries with regard to Singapore company taxation and all, you can always ping those questions in the given comments, and we will try to figure it out.
Sure, we'll do that.
Okay. So once the company is incorporated, what are the documents that this ministry provides, like AOA, MOA, certificate of incorporation, any other registration documents?
No, certificate of incorporation is really not required in Singapore. If you want, you can buy that. We don't buy. We should not.
Once company is incorporated, what do they
no,
provide?
we get an email. It's okay when you in Singapore. Nobody asks for a certificate of incorporation.
Okay.
Everybody uses something called ACRA profile.
ACRA
profile gives you all the data about the company. When the date of incorporation, who are the directors, who are the shareholders, what is the registered office address. All the information is given in that. So usually everybody in Singapore only asks for that.
So is it available in public domain? Anybody can go and view this profile about
Yes,
the company?
anybody can buy this from ACRA.
Okay.
It's at $5.50 for any company I want
chargeable.
to buy.
It's
chargeable.
Okay.
It's $5.50 Singapore.
Okay.
And you can buy it. Anyone interested for a company can go and search for it and buy. It's freely available.
Okay, that's great.
So that information is given. So if you want a certificate, because when we go for overseas, suppose some investments from India and all that must come, then they ask for a certificate of incorporation, which we can buy it. It's $50.
Okay.
So
what is the proof that a company is incorporated? And like in India, we have certificate of incorporation, MOA, AOA, PAN.
No, already have. You have.
So what do we have? That's
okay,
what
we have some, in Singapore. We don't have MOA. We call it Constitution.
Okay.
Which has got everything together.
Okay.
So that is only one document.
Okay.
And the important point in that, there is no object clause.
Oh.
And then
you can do anything, everything. Yeah,
you can do. There is no object clause.
Okay.
And when you have doing the company incorporation, we have to mention what is the activity of the company. We are given two choices. And there are certain codes already prefixed for them. And you can also define what is your own, but it should be something in that code already.
Okay.
Then those are the businesses you are choosing. Suppose 6 months down the road, you want to change your activity, you can go and change it. Anytime you want to, you can change it in ACRA. No restrictions. Usually, this activity is only accessed by government department when you go and apply for a license. Okay. Suppose you are a consulting company and you go and apply for a trading license and your activity is not there, then they will not approve your import license. So only then it is important. Otherwise, and it can be changed anytime.
Okay. First of all, thank you very much. You are nicely explaining each and everything, and that must be very clear to our viewers. So our next, coming to the point about the bank account, which is a very cumbersome process.
That is a big challenge.
So now please throw some light how to get the bank account open and how can we open the bank account for a company is registered?
Okay, for opening a bank account in Singapore, we are talking about 3 local banks are there in Singapore, all are very big. There's one Development Bank of Singapore, which is very much in India, DBS.
All right.
And then we have UOB is another bank, United Overseas Bank. Then the third one is Overseas Chinese Banking Corporation, OCBC.
Okay.
All 3 are very big. And I am in the panel for opening bank accounts with DBS and OCBC.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so I'm there with them. So I know how they do, what they think, and I can talk to them, get explanations on all that.
Okay.
But main requirement for a company, these banks ask is, what is your nexus? What is the reason for you setting up the Singapore company? Though the Singapore government, the ACRA, the regulator, they all don't ask this question. These guys ask this question, what is your reason for setting up the Singapore company? Do you have a customer in Singapore or do you have a supplier in Singapore? Okay. So if you have this, opening an account is very easy. Easy means comparatively easier. You have already somewhere inside. So you should have at least one customer or one supplier.
Okay.
And you don't need to have some track record with them. It can be an email or it can be some communication, agreement, understanding.
Transaction is not required. Any transaction?
No, because you're just incorporating the
yeah,
company, so
obviously.
you don't have a bank account. So transaction is not required. And if you have some emails exchange with them, suppose you're dealing in a particular product, you're a software developer, you have some product software which this company in Singapore would like to buy from you. So you're just negotiating with them or just informing them you have this, and they show interest in buying or something from you. So that's a good one. Something like that. Suppose this Singapore company is selling some product, and then you are interested in buying it. You have a supplier there, so you can negotiate with them and ask them what is the price, how do we sign a contract or something. That is good enough.
Okay.
So you should have any of this. This is the best one. This is very easy. This will make your bank account opening simpler. And if you don't have all these things, then you have all the problems. They'll ask you a lot of questions. Sometimes they might not even open for you. So bank account opening is not guaranteed. We can facilitate it. Is not guaranteed. Then we have other banks like HSBC and all that where we can go. Now every bank has their own requirement. Like I used to work with Standard Chartered. Standard Chartered now requires the beneficial owner to be a resident of Singapore. So if you are a foreigner, you cannot open an account with Standard Chartered now. For HSBC and all that, they ask for a rental agreement for your office in Singapore.
Okay.
And then they also ask for any employees you have and all that. So we need to talk to them. We need to explain to them. We need to show that, okay, in a few months we'll be hiring someone or something like that. We can negotiate with HSBC.
But there's nothing guaranteed.
Not guaranteed, but we can always, I've tried my way to get it done. We have opened accounts with HSBC and all that. So the local banks, this is very important for you.
So
customer or supplier.
What if I can deposit some amount in the bank account?
If you are talking about depositing some money and all that, if you're willing to deposit something like $2 lakh,
$2 lakhs US Singapore dollar,
we can try with the banks here.
That comes approximately, if we calculate in USD.
In USD is about 160 or something like that. 160, 160 something like that. 170, yeah.
2 lakh US dollar.
Now it's about 64 for a Singapore dollar.
Okay. So it means opening a bank account in Singapore is not an easy cup of tea. You need to be prepared for that. You should have at least a kind of supplier in Singapore with whom you have all the business, any communication which you can show to the banking
They will
officials.
ask for all that.
Obviously, then you can. Otherwise, you should have big money in your pocket to make a deposit and to open the bank account.
No, that also I'm not guaranteeing. That is okay. You have a chance. You can tell them that you're going to put in this money, and then we can negotiate with them.
Okay.
So you're coming with some initial big amount, so they may be willing to open that for you.
Okay. So now, once the company is incorporated, how soon can we, and we have a bank account, do we require any other commencement of business certificate?
No licenses, no starting business, no this, no that. Opening the bank account is, okay, one small final one is, we have fintech banks in Singapore.
Okay.
And their money so far is safe. I have not seen anything happening. So you can, that is the last resort.
That is a risk that you can take.
They will open the account for you. They will not ask all these questions for you, whether you have a local supplier, customer and all that. These fintech banks will open the account for you. But their KYC process, from my understanding with them, they open the account first. Whenever you remit money, they ask you where the money is coming from. Give me documents for that. Where is the source of the money coming in?
Okay.
When you remit money, they ask you for invoice, they ask you for contract, all that. So their style of KYC is different from local banks. Local banks, normally you open with them. After that, they don't ask you many questions.
Okay.
Unless you have a very big amount coming in or something, they get some suspicious. Otherwise, usually they don't bother you.
Okay.
This fintech bank is the last alternative. So it is not that completely closed, but fintech bank we can open. Fintech bank also, I'm with them.
Okay.
And I know the people there, the relationship manager. I can facilitate opening the.
That's great. We are with someone who can facilitate you with opening the bank account, incorporating the company. So on BizCon, you can rely for every compliances in incorporations. We have team in Singapore with the Mr. Algappam, who is there to help you out by all possible means. So now coming back to the point, once company is incorporated, you have nicely explained each and everything, like director requirement, registered address, office requirement, and then this bank account opening requirement. So now what about the GST? GST is there, right?
No, Singapore? GST is flat 9% here. Anything is 9% if you are registered. Okay, GST registration, if your revenue hits 1 million Singapore dollars,
1 million
Singapore dollars,
okay,
you are mandatorily required to register. And this 1 million starts from calendar year, January to December.
Okay.
So you have to monitor yourself. Suppose you are about 700, 800,000 revenue, 8 lakh, 9 lakh revenue. You must inform us. Then we will initiate the process to register.
Okay.
Until you register for GST, you cannot collect GST from your customer.
Okay.
And you also, whatever you pay is your expense for you.
Okay.
GST. And for the GST part, mandatory registration is easier. If you go for optional, suppose you think that you're going to hit the money and then you want to be prepared to register and all that, then the tax authority, they ask you a lot of questions to prove that you really are going to hit that.
Okay.
And another thing is, you must, there was a case where I had recently that they were paying, buying supply for $1 million, but then there was no revenue for them. That is for development or something like that. They are not going to invoice anybody.
Okay.
So those you cannot claim because you cannot register. That's because you must have output tax also.
Right.
Then only, if you have output, then you can register. There's one more exemption here. If all your sales are, suppose you are a Singapore company, you're doing consulting, providing overseas software, selling software and all that, then you're not charging any Singapore GST because you're only Singapore customers, when you sell, you must charge 9%.
Export in terms of export, there's no GST.
Yeah, no GST. It's called zero rated. Here they don't say no GST, but they say zero rated. It's still GST, but zero rated. So if your sales is almost like that all the time, then we can ask for exemption from them.
Okay.
Exemption will be given provided you don't go and claim the refund from them.
Okay. Okay.
Then they will give you exemption.
Obviously.
The revenue.
There should not be revenue loss to the government.
Revenue loss to the government. Correct. They always look for that.
Okay. Okay. So now coming back to the employee recruitment, how is the labor policy and how the company should decide in terms of employment of any foreigners employee or local employee?
Okay, it will be better, or it depends on the nature of business and all that. So if you are a foreign company and you want to hire a employment pass for a first senior person employee that you want to bring into Singapore, they look at your company, what is your company paid up capital of the company, and then they will also look at what is your revenue forecast, whether you will have this employee that you're having, can you service the salary, all those expenses for the next 6 to 12 months. They will look at all that. Okay. And then only they will think of, I'm talking about the first employment pass.
Okay.
And subsequent second, third and all that, you need to have a local is a Singapore citizen or a permanent resident employee in your company. Then you can go for the second or third foreigner.
First foreigners we need to have pass.
First foreigner, maybe we can push through.
Okay.
Without any local employee.
Okay. Once we have for second employee foreigners, we need to have 3.
No. If you want to hire a second foreigner or third foreigner, without a local employee, they will reject it.
How many local employees they will require?
It depends on industry to industry and all that. Okay. So generally, if you're talking about a consulting kind of business and all that, if you have one, maybe you can hire 2 or 3 foreigners.
Okay.
If you're talking about a restaurant and all that, then it's different. If you're talking every industry, like marine industry, the ratio is more.
Okay.
So every industry is different. But for consulting, we are talking about, and the salary we are talking about here, how they do salary is minimum $8,000 to $10,000 is what is a good salary for employment pass, Singapore dollars. And then the way they look at it is they will also look at the person's age. Suppose you bring in a 30-year-old and then you tell them 6,000, 7,000, they will accept. Suppose you bring in a 45-year-old person and tell him the salary is 6,000, they will not accept. They will say it's low. So what they're trying to say is, you don't bring in foreigners to cut the Singapore person's salary, Singapore citizen salary. So if there is a person with 15 years of experience, his salary may be about $12,000, then you must pay that kind of range.
So do we have some kind of labor compliances here?
Labor compliance is only we have to pay
like any gratuity or
we have to pay what we call it CPF, Central Provident Fund, which is employer pays 17%, employee pays 20%, and this is up to age 55. Above age 55, then the rates will start dropping. And this CPF is to be paid only for citizen and PR. So foreigners are not eligible for this. You don't pay for foreigners.
It is a monthly compliance?
Monthly we have to pay, and then this is capped at $6,800 salary. Suppose you are paying a local Singapore citizen $15,000 salary. the CPF is capped at 6,800 per month.
Okay.
And only up to that amount, you pay the 17 and the 20% from the employee.
That's good.
So that is one. And we have something called Skill Development Fund, which is 0.25% of the salary of all employees, whether you're a foreigner or whatever. So it's a maximum of, the cap is $4,500. So you pay a skill development levy of $11.25 for one employee. This is every month. Each month you have to pay for all your employees, whether foreigners, locals, it doesn't matter. Okay. As long as you have an employee getting a salary in the company, you have to pay this to the government. This is capped at 11.25 for each employee.
That's
and that is skill development levy. And other than that, there is no. Okay, one thing about Singapore is if you retrench someone, if you ask the guy to leave, they'll say go by the contract between the employer and the employee. There is no law in Singapore that says that every year the guy worked for you, you have to pay him 1 month. There's no law like that. So it is, the government says it's between the employer and the employee contract. So if your contract says 1 month notice and the person can be terminated, you give 1 month notice and the guy is gone. You don't pay anything more.
Okay.
Some big companies here, manufacturing companies, big companies, if they have a union, then they go by the union understanding.
Okay.
For a small company, about 10, 20, 50 employees and all that, normally you don't see that.
Okay.
So this is all your own contract with the employee.
Okay, it means if any company that wants to operate in Singapore, they need to be very cautious with regard to hiring any foreigner employee.
Yes.
Once they hire any foreigners employee, they need to ensure that all the labor compliances in terms of their
they need to get the permit first. Only then the person can start working.
And also they need to ensure that they have a written contract, because that is the written contract that will be valid and in the eyes of law.
Yes.
And they will be governed as per the executed contract.
Correct.
Okay. Now coming to the tax structure. What are the tax applicable on a company, direct and indirect tax? What are the rates?
No, for the company, the corporate income tax is 17%.
Okay.
And it's for the first $200,000 profit, Singapore dollar taxable profit.
Okay.
Then for a new company, there are some benefits for the first 3 years, subject to the share. There is a 10% individual shareholder. It can be a foreigner, but there must be a 10% individual shareholder. Then this benefit is given to them.
10% shareholder should be a foreigner or local resident?
Anybody is okay. Anybody is okay. 10% is 10% individual.
Okay.
If it is 100% corporate, it means a parent company is holding 100. Then they are not eligible for this.
Okay.
The first 3 years, first 3 assessment years.
Okay.
And then here what happens is they give you first $100,000 of taxable profit, 75% is exempt. Means you pay tax on $25,000. For the first $100,000 taxable
17% was for
total. No, that is I'm talking about the exemption for new companies.
Okay.
Exemption for new companies for the first 3 years. You have first $100,000. I'm talking all in Singapore dollars.
Okay.
First 100,000 Singapore dollars profit, you have 75% exemption.
Okay.
And then the next $100,000, you have 50% exemption.
Okay.
So for a new company with a taxable
60%, right?
50%.
15%. 15.
Oh, no, 50.
First 75, then 50%.
75, then 50.
50%. Okay.
And then what happens is if your taxable profit is more than 200,000, you pay 17% flat.
Okay, more than 20%.
No, 200,000. 17% flat. And if suppose 100% is a corporate shareholder and more than 3 years, the company is actually 4th year or 5th year, then they still get some rebate. It is first $10,000, 75%.
Okay.
First $10,000, 75, $190,000, 50%.
Okay.
So the 200,000 is still there, but only the percentages vary. Okay. This is for all companies.
So it means, and just to brief this and sum up, it means if the profit on which it is taxable profit, it is $200,000, the net 17% tax is there. But if the 10% shareholding remains with any individual, not with all the corporate, not 100% shareholding does not lies with the corporate, rather 10 or more than 10% lies with any individual, then there's certain exemptions.
Yes,
on first 3 years. For first 100,000, Singapore dollar, there's tax will be 75% exemption will be given.
Yes.
For another 100,000 Singapore dollar, 50% exemption will be given. And the third year,
fourth year.
This is for 3 years.
This is for 3 years.
Okay.
And for fourth year for this company and for any company, the first $10,000, 75% is deducted.
Okay.
So they pay tax on $2,500.
Okay.
And $190,000, 50%.
50%.
So that is one. One more very important thing, Singapore does not have a fixed year end in Singapore.
Oh.
So you can fix any date as your year end. Suppose you start the company on 1st of April, you can say your year end is 31st March or 31st December or 31st January, whatever you want. We recommend keep it less than 12 months.
Okay.
You can even keep it more than 12 months. But what will happen is the 3 assessment year benefit given to a new company, they will take, if it's more than 12 months, they will take away 2 years.
Oh.
So the benefit will be reduced to 1 year. That means they will only get 2 years first time and 1 more year the second time. That's all. So we always recommend to keep the year end within 12 months.
It means the calendar year, it should not be 12. It can be 12 or less than 12. It is up to you entirely.
It need not be calendar year. It can be any date.
Any day. It can be any day, but the conclusive year month should be 12 months, right?
Below 12 months.
Below 12 months.
Below 12 months.
Below 12. What is the reason being? I mean, why it will bring ambiguity in the mind of...
No, it's very clear. The tax is all there. They say if your year end is more than 12 months, the assessment year becomes 2 assessment years.
Okay.
So they only give you benefit for 3 assessment years. So 2 is gone. So you have to be careful. So we will recommend keep it within 12 months for the first year.
Okay.
So suppose you incorporate a company 1st April, you are very lucky, you can have it 31st March. Otherwise, you have to have, you incorporate in June, suppose the Indian company, you still have 31st March.
Right.
And if you have, you're a Singapore company or any other country, you can even have 29th June as the year end. There is no fixed, it must be month end, all that. It can be any day in the year. We recommend less than 12 months.
Okay, got it. So this was about the corporate tax, and GST, as you said, it is 8% slab rate.
17.
GST 17%.
GST is 9%.
9%. Straight away. Right?
Straight away.
So corporate tax and GST, I mean, these are the only tax structure.
Yes, and then for the GST, you cannot claim anything related to staff medical expense. Suppose you spend money on your staff to pay for the medical expense, you cannot claim that GST.
Okay.
And then if you're using your own vehicle, and you're claiming for petrol.
Catering services.
Catering and all that is okay. We are talking about car
services.
Car and all that you cannot claim.
Okay.
You cannot claim GST. You cannot claim the expense for tax purposes.
Okay.
And staff medical is capped at 1% of your salary cost. Suppose you have $100,000 salary for the employee in the year, you can only claim medical benefit for $1,000 for tax purposes.
Okay. So now, again, I will request our viewers to follow us on our YouTube channel and Instagram channel. The link is given in the description below, so that we keep updating you about the Singapore and other South Asian countries. Now, coming back to few questions which is left, which is very much required for this discussion to continue. What are the trademark with regard to Singapore, and what are the costs involved in
trademark? I think it depends on which level you are doing it. We can help you with that. The fee for paying the trademark is only a few $100. Okay. Can be $300-400, and usually trademark in Singapore is handled by a lawyer.
Okay,
so we can refer our
we have a team
firm.
too. Okay.
We have a partner firm.
Okay.
And they will handle it for you. They will guide you. What is the procedure, process, how long it will take, and all that.
Okay.
So the fee is not much. Fee is only about $400-500 paid to the government.
Okay.
The lawyer fee and all that is to be mutually discussed and agreed.
Okay. So once the company is incorporated, maybe there may be some unlucky one who want to exit from the Singapore, and that is why we want to understand what is the exit process or winding up process. Is it cumbersome or simple?
No. Winding up is they should clear all their liabilities. There should be no liability, nothing. All the tax returns should be filed. Any company ACRA related filing must be cleared. Means there should be no outstanding pending in their end. Bank account must be closed. And then they need to make all the balance sheet items zero. Means no receivable, no payable, no bank account, no amount due to anybody.
Okay.
So it should all be zero. It means you should have your paid up your capital and your loss should be the same or something. It should be zero.
Okay.
Then we can submit for strike off, and it will take, if there is no creditors and all that, you can straight away go for a strike off.
Okay.
It will take 4 to 6 months for ACRA to confirm the strike off.
Okay.
And they will inform they will publish in the Gazette, anybody want to object if there's any liability or something. So they will have all those process. So that's why it takes minimum 4 to 6 months.
Okay. Okay. So our viewers, this was all about incorporating a company in Singapore, their tax structure, their winding up and other issues. So now I think there are a few questions which we must have forgotten to discuss. That can we help our prospective client in getting a registered address and director services?
Yes. No, we provide all the services.
Okay.
We provide a local director. We provide a registered office, company secretary, whatever is required, we provide for them.
Okay.
So generally, we take care of all the requirements, end to end, everything we can cover for them. Applying for employment pass, I have a partner firm who is a very senior, experienced employment agent.
Great. That's great.
So we'll do that.
So if in case you have any queries with regard to all these topics, you can very well ping down and write all those questions so that we can reply you through the modes. So with this, we close our today's discussion. It was really nice speaking to you, sir. And you thoroughly explained us in a very, very simple and nice manner how you can incorporate a company and what are the compliances, everything. You took your precious time for us, and we are really grateful for you.
Thank you.
And with this, we close today's.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel, and don't forget to press like and bell so that we can regularly update you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.